board for many years, coming to you with my concerns about ideologies not only being affirmed, but also incorporated into curriculum. This, of course, goes against our state constitution. With all the evidence-based information regarding the harm these ideologies do to minor children, I am disheartened Sumner School District has not put a stop to it. And I've got to say too, I've been doing this for about 6 years, and I think I've always been chosen kindness. As you see here tonight, the anger and frustration by concerned parents are the culmination of years of ignoring the evidence presented. Even when most all developed nations are making laws against gender affirmation, drugs, and surgery on minors, you have turned a blind eye. I understand our state has buckled down and refuses to adhere to new federal laws and guidelines regarding this. I understand that makes it difficult for you, as you feel you must adhere to state laws. But that does not mean that you cannot discuss the facts and speak out against what our state is mandating. You are here to do what is best for the students and their families. May you be silent no more. I would also like to address the Supreme Court decision in Monmouth versus Taylor, which will affect every school district in the country. Justice Alito wrote that mandating our children to engage with these materials presented as normative and celebratory substantially interfered with parents' rights to raise their children according to their sincerely held beliefs. In effect, the schools crossed a constitutional line by conditioning a public education on acceptance of viewpoints conflicting with their families' faiths. What does that mean for our district? First, the schools should provide clear advance notification to parents for any upcoming lessons covering the topics of gender identity, sexuality, or other related themes. Second, parents have the right to opt out their children without penalty or stigma from specific lessons that conflict with their religious convictions, and district policies must be aligned. Third, children who opt out should be given meaningful, equivalent educational opportunities, ensuring they don't fall behind while respecting family beliefs. Fourth, teachers will need guidance to handle opt-outs sensitively and to implement alternative lessons professionally. This ruling reinforces parental rights, ensuring families can agree or disagree with specific content presented to their school-aged children. I urge the district to swiftly align its policies with this decision, ensuring transparency, respect, and balance moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next audience comment is Bill Davis.
Good evening, members of the board, Dr. Dent. I'm here tonight because your district has been caught in the crosshairs of an online outrage cycle, one that misrepresents what actually happened at Plateau Pride, and in doing so, has put community members in real danger. Here are the facts. Plateau Pride was organized by Hope Development Practice, a nonprofit behavioral health agency. The event was held on a weekend during a summer break in a district facility rented under the same community use policies that allow churches, sports leagues, and other groups to use school assets. It was a public pride celebration with music, vendors, drag performances, and guests. Some parents chose to bring their children. The school district did not sponsor the event, did not dictate its content, and did not compel anyone to attend. Despite this, an influential local commentator posted, quote, "If you support this, you're sick. Men in lingerie parading around for children at an elementary school," end quote. Alongside this, she published close-up photos of individual performers without their consent. The result, performers and the event organizer have received threats, including death threats. This is not about whether you personally enjoy drag shows or pride events. It's about telling the truth. It's about not allowing half-truths, missing context, and loaded language to smear our schools or endanger members of our community. Your facility rental program works because it treats all groups equally. You don't vet sermons when you rent to a church, and you don't censor theater costumes when you rent to a performance group. That's fairness, and that's the law. What happened online a few weeks ago wasn't, quote unquote, holding the district accountable. It was using your district's name as a prop in a culture war narrative, one that ignores parental choice, community policy, and the basic fact that the district was a landlord, not a producer. I urge you to stand by your facility use policy, to clearly communicate these facts to the public, and to recognize the harm that comes from letting misinformation run unchecked. Our community deserves light, not heat. And frankly, it deserves better than being a pawn in someone else's outrage machine. Thank you. I have a little bit of time left. I have a packet that shows the photo that was passed around earlier. That local ragecaster who put the photo on her Facebook page said, quote unquote, lots of people in the comments who need the FBI to sweep their PCs. This ragecaster wanted rage and she got it. Unfortunately, so did a lot of other folks, which resulted in death threats and fear mongering. That's not cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next audience comment is Patricia Tomasia.
My name is Patricia Tomasia, and I am a parent in the Sumner Bonney Lake School District. Sorry. Good evening, members of the board and Dr. Den. I want to begin by thanking you for renting school facilities to our whole community. Whether it's a church group on a Sunday, a youth sports league on a Saturday, or a pride event in the summer, these buildings belong to all of us. They are community assets, and the way you make them accessible brings people together. I also want to say a word about Plateau Pride. This event isn't about politics. It's about creating a safe, joyful space for LGBTQ+ youth and their families. Families who live right here in our district. These kids are our neighbors, our classmates, and our future. They are part of this community, and events like Plateau Pride tell them, you belong here too. The data reminds us why that message matters. Nationally, LGBTQ+ youth are more than 4 times as likely to attempt suicide as their peers. They face higher rates of bullying, depression, and homelessness. But the good news is that supportive communities make a measurable difference. When young people feel accepted, suicide attempts drop significantly, and mental health outcomes improve. That's the power of inclusion. So what can we do as a community? First, we can keep providing spaces, like your schools, where people can gather safely. Second, we can model respect, even when we don't agree with every choice others make. And third, we can push back against misinformation that turns neighbors into targets, because safety and truth go hand in hand. I'm grateful that our district treats all groups equally under its rental policy. That fairness is not only legal, it's the right thing to do. And I'm hopeful that as a community, we can move forward with compassion, clarity, and yes, a little common sense. Thank you all for your time.
Nobody cares
Thank
what
you.
you do, just keep it away from our kids.
Our next comment.
Show some respect.
Thank you. Our next audience comment is Cody Ott.
The whole point is to keep it away from the kids.
Sir, please stop.
Cody Ott. Thank you. Our next audience comment is Terry McCoy.
Hi. Good evening, Board of Directors and Superintendent Dan. Thank you all for so much of what you do. I'm here tonight to speak in strong support of adopting a formal district policy that recognizes and upholds parents as primary stakeholders in the upbringing, education, and wellness of their children, as stated in RCW 28A.605.005. Parents are primary, meaning of chief importance. Stakeholder means a person with an interest or concern in something, whereas parents have the chief interest in and concern for their child's upbringing. This policy would acknowledge the authority of parents to opt in to LGBTQ+ educational curricula, instructional materials, and activities versus opting out. This policy would also address our Washington State Constitution, Article 9, Education, Section 4, Sectarian Control or Influence Prohibited. Quote, all schools maintained or supported wholly or in part by the public funds shall be forever free from sectarian control or influence, end quote. This policy would specifically acknowledge all parents have the choice to opt in to LGBTQ plus classes and activities versus opting out. Whereas there are two Washington state laws, RCW 28A.345.130 and RCW 28A.320.230, requiring school boards to accomplish a long list of responsibilities regarding course design, selection, and adoption of instructional materials that I don't even have the time in 3 minutes to review tonight. Which leads me to wonder how our board, is doing with all the requirements on you made by OSPI, RCWs, and WASDA. Community members, parents, business owners are hoping you will abide by the law, acknowledging in our district, parents are the primary stakeholders in the upbringing, education, and well-being of their children by drafting an opt-in policy versus opt-out policy regarding policy and procedure required under RCW 28A.320.230. There are school districts currently in our state that are reviewing and considering model opt-in policies. Will we be one of them? Thank you.
Thank you. Our next audience comment is Becky Conway.